The system is down. The system. Down, 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 down. System is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down, 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 down. Is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down, down, down. It's down.
Keyboard, what do you think? Brown switches. Thinking about making this keyboard. Let us know what you guys think. Ignore this. We just threw those keys on there. That's from a different keyboard. So ignore the black keys, but I think it's pretty sleek and sexy for a 10 keyless. What's going on up here? I think I'm going to make Crit Show a cartoon from now on. What do you think? Cartoon from now on? Crit Show?
I think we should.
Yeah, it's good. I don't
Hand
think...
drawings. Pencil and paper only.
All right, so we'll get started right now so we can have the show this week.
That's hot.
You need a coaster. You're putting that on these
I am.
pricey mouse pads. Doug would like a moment of your time.
The strongest organism on the planet is gonorrhea bacteria. It can move 100,000 times its own body weight. If humans were that strong, an average male could lift 25 million pounds. That's 12,500 tons or 83.3 blue whales.
Okay, thanks, Doug. All right, let's look at this desk.
This is our beautiful single system Lee & Lee test bench that we're hopefully going to be putting into the back corner. This is going to be one of our main testing stations. We're not going to pay attention to him. That beautiful man.
Who's this guy?
Supposedly some rapist that we found randomly on the internet.
How do we know? What if he's like a basketball coach? We can't just come out and say that just because he has a mustache. All right.
Well, I mean, we could show his brother there on the side.
These guys are obviously cops from the late 70s, early 80s.
Or porn stars.
Or porn stars.
Same thing.
Or rapists.
So right now we have our Ryzen 1800X in here. It's running like a dream. We have it stable at 4.0 gigahertz, as well as our 980 wind force. For the most part though, this is a really gorgeous desk. We have our LEDs in there. It's going to be able to fade through as many colors we want. But for the most part, it's going to be a beautiful showpiece as well as a showstopper in terms of performance.
We're going to get yelled at for this. We've got a Lee desk with deep cool mouse pad. And what the hell is this hideous mouse right here?
It's one of our prototypes. I mean, it doesn't work on glass? No,
it's an infrared sensor. It's a 3050 in there, guys. Don't kill me. I know you guys don't like the 3050. But he's playing Overwatch with it, and it's 97% accurate. Just don't try to do any no-scope 360s. Is that what the kids do these days?
With their Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
where's my damn Mountain Dew?
Get your Mountain Dew and do some no-scope, stale bone. Now we're getting into some skateboard stuff. So yeah, we'll do a review on this in a few days.
It's a beautiful desk. It really is. Beautiful.
All right, now it's time to do this segment where I'm here doing the thing. We put some other things in front of this. This gets better every time. All right, so life on Mars, how about it? We've got potatoes growing in Mars-like conditions in Peru because Peru's like Mars? No, because Peru has some pretty high altitude. They had to create an environment that simulates Mars. All the chemical stuffs that are on Mars. The air is higher in carbon dioxide. And they also had to make sure that the soil was similar, so they moved soil to a certain altitude and then built a container. And now they're trying to grow, these potatoes in very low temperatures with very strange air conditions, and it worked. So investigators at the International Potato Center. I work at the International Potato Center.
Oh, you mean the IPC?
Yeah, the IPC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Intel has very high IPC, I hear. Yeah. I kind of want to work there just so I can go to parties and be like, oh yeah, I work for the International Potato Center. Anyway, they say this is promising. They have to do some more tests. But I think the funny thing that spawned all this was not like, hey, can we go live on Mars? It was like, well, you know, we saw the movie The Martian. Didn't read the book. We saw the movie The Martian, and Matt Damon was growing potatoes on Mars. So we thought maybe we should grow some potatoes on Mars. In Peru. Guys, they've come a long way in the whole battle to reverse aging. So senescent cells are one of the things that they think makes you age, and probably the quickest, because senescent cells are when a cell breaks down and no longer reproduces and that sort of thing. It also starts spewing off some bad chemicals, and that can cause like the adjacent cells to start to break down, and that's bad. So they were thinking like, well, if we could just remove those cells, maybe things will start moving in the right direction. So they created some drugs and all that sort of thing, but those drugs killed those cells and other cells, and now some companies have a new drug that does some very specific things. You guys can read in the article here. If you're a biologist, you're probably already face palming, being like, he said one thing wrong. Well, guess what? I'm just getting this out to the masses so we can all have a talk about it and be like, yay, soon we'll be able to go pay a lot of money for a thing that we can put in our bodies and make ourselves feel like we're not aging. Maybe it'll work. Anyway, now they've got a new drug that does not kill the adjacent cells. It specifically targets the senescent cells and takes them out. And it's been working in lab rats. Clinical trials are coming up very soon. So it means it'll be several years before we can get our hands on it. If you can last that long, maybe you'll have some anti-aging stuff. All right, guys. For the rest of the thing, we're just going to talk a lot about all of this net neutrality nonsense. Well, not net neutrality, but like the whole ISP selling all of our data. So if you guys lived under a rock or didn't see the video from yesterday, ISPs are now able to sell your browsing history, your search history, and all that sort of thing. There's been a lot of argument about what that means online, but Minnesota doesn't even care. Minnesota's like, you know what? The government can do whatever they want, but we're going to protect our citizens because they elected us. What the fuck? That's a good idea. So Minnesota has decided that if the ISP is going to do any of that kind of stuff, they have to get written consent before they do it. So these are like this is even greater than the FCC's original rules. Now they have to get written consent for anything they do, express written approval from the customer, and they also have a provision in there saying like, you know what, if you're an ISP and the customer doesn't give you written consent, you have to still provide them with service. You can't come in and say, well, here's your contract. If you don't sign your soul over right here, we're not going to service you. And by the way, this is a monopoly. This is Comcast only in this neighborhood, I'm afraid. Just because, competition's bad. So Minnesota's doing that, and that's pretty cool. Over here on Reddit, there's a lot of people arguing about what this whole de-anonymization really means. Can we actually pinpoint one person? We had the guy yesterday that we made the video about, talked about him promising to go out and buy people in the Congress, buy all their internet search history and make it public. And people are like, well, you can't just figure that out. Now, if you guys go through this, there's a lot of people trying to figure out how it might work. Now, they're saying, oh, the ISPs can't exactly see what you're doing. They know a few things. They don't know. It's hard to tie things to you. Guys, they've tied a lot of shit to a lot of people using IP addresses. That's not very scientific, but they've done it. You can go through some other browsing habits, but now that this is in place, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that a lot of the ISPs will come up with new ways to identify you and then track you so they can directly say, hey, all this is this individual. So I'm looking for that to start happening, number one. And then I'm looking for shit to go downhill from there. So in response to all that stuff, yes, that we talked about yesterday, people making GoFundMes and Kickstarters to try to buy the Congress's data. Well, the guy who created Cards Against Humanity, that wonderful game. Your favorite, huh? Yes. The game that makes me stir myself. Does that make any sense? Yeah. Anyway, he says, if this shit passes, I will buy the browser history of every congressman in Congress, congressional aid, and publish it. So he carbon copied Speaker Ryan on that one, which was kind of funny. And then he goes through here and says, like, hey, he's not going to be a Kickstarter. He's just going to buy it himself. So that might be the better way to do it. And then there's some conjecture even there about, like, is this even feasible? Regardless of all this, I'm really going to be using a VPN almost every time I'm on the internet nowadays because these guys are so far up our ass that you may as well just use a VPN. We also have something coming pretty soon that you guys may want to just stay tuned for as far as VPNs go. Just, a little thing here. We're working on something there. It's a thing, something. We've got a thing coming up maybe. So because I don't just sit by on the sidelines and take this garbage. I do things about it. So, stay vigilant and all that stuff. We need to make a t-shirt about that too. All right. There's also people making, different ways to frustrate and or protect yourself on the internet. Like Ruin My History is a new thing that's out on GitHub. This will eat up a lot of bandwidth. Just know that it basically opens up about 100 different web pages in the background. Top 100 Alexa pages, minus the ones that have obtrusive ads, and just clutters your history up with a bunch of nonsense that doesn't matter. So it's going to frustrate the marketing companies. They're like, well, this data now means nothing to us. So that's one thing you guys can do. Then there's also Ad Nauseam, which is a Firefox plugin. And Ad Nauseam will grab all the stuff. It does sort of like an ad blocker. It'll block all the ads, but it looks for all the junk, all the malware, all the ads, all the trackers, and everything like that that's running in the background. It grabs it all, puts it in a container, and then lets you look through it. So it's a little bit more in depth, and it can also do things like just throw out fraudulent clicks and just do all kinds of things. So it can be another tool to frustrate people. So if you guys are really into that, you can check those things out. All right, we've got a lot of video games to talk about this week. Like, we've been playing a lot of games, so let's go check out a couple of those right now. All right, we're checking out Mirage Arcane Warfare from Torn Banner Studios, the same guys that made Chivalry. And this game essentially feels a lot like Chivalry, but with magic. Yay! And you have several different classes, so it's taking a page out of the book. Oh, he's dead. Taking a page out of the book from, Team Fortress and that sort of thing, Overwatch. Right now I'm finding it very frustrating. I'm mostly getting destroyed. Team-based is nice if you have a team that knows what they're doing. If not, you can get very frustrated very quickly because, hey, what are you doing there, buddy? My own teammate nailed me. Oh, that hit me. Damn it. Yep, one hit dead. So we have all these different classes. There's your big heavy guy with the big weapons. And you have 3 abilities per person. And you can pick your different abilities like ground stomp or, whirlwind attack, giant boulder, ram charge, whatever. And you have to sort of manage your different, abilities. They have cooldowns just like every other game out there. Let's pick her and let's give her the hook shot. There we go. Essentially the hook shot. And that. All right, now so I'm playing a girl. She's a little bit faster. You die quickly from melee, like very quickly. And you sort of have to manage. Oh, they're coming to kill us. Jesus. One word to describe a lot of this game, and it also describes the Chivalry to a way. Very weighty and meaty combat to the point of it almost being clunky. And the weapons have a lot of weight to them, You can see this guy over here. If you're the big guy, though, it seems to be a little bit broken. You can just almost flail and kill people. Missed. Yeah, they just flail around, and yeah, it's really hard to manage all this stuff. I'm gonna go over and get this guy. Yep. Oh, those are landmines. Proximity mines. Hey, GoldenEye. When you die from one of those, the screen should turn red and it should go da-na-na-na. Jesus, got cut in half. So I think I'll like this probably more once the arena unlocks and that sort of thing, so it's every man for himself. Right now, the most frustrating thing for me is when you're in the middle of a battle and you just get backstabbed or something. That's just, you really need to concentrate on one person at a time. So 1v1 is going to be fun. Team stuff, if you got a good team and you're all coordinating well, it'll be quite a bit of fun. They need to rebalance a few things. There's some stuff people are already discovering the meta, like this thing. You set up this shield. It requires a few hits to take down, but you can kind of set this up and keep your characters inside it and capture the control points pretty quickly and easily. This guy does not want anything to do with this. Where's this guy? He went up the stairs. So would I recommend this right now? Like I said, it's very frustrating. So if you're up for a bit of a challenge and a pretty decent learning curve, you should be able to pick it up in a few days. It could be fun. In my opinion, it really needs to be faster. And that's the main thing. It just needs to be a little bit faster. And I need to figure out, I don't know. Ouch. Guy's down the hallway. Nailed him. You suck as much as I do at this game?
Maybe a little bit better than you.
Maybe.
But not by much. I'm like pretty shitty. I think maybe you should wait a little bit till they work out some kinks. I mean, it's still in beta right now, so.
It's pretty much the story of us playing this game right here.
Yeah, I feel like we're always playing against people who have like no jobs and time to play this all day.
Damn. Get good, son.
Get better at this, dick.
Okay, we got an improx crash. Who survived? That's mine. Yes.
No haircut.
Yeah. All right. What on earth is this?
Just read it.
I'm gonna read this. I just let him print stuff out. I don't even like proof this stuff. And one day it's gonna be my undoing.
Perhaps.
All right. This is from Daniel. O Logan, where art thou, Logan? Does he swing from his mighty castle, where the cherries are red and fruitful? Does his hair smell of roses, like times of leaves falling? Where art thou, Logan? Why does he call to the land of snow? Between the wolves and dogs, he is home. So dark and cold our winter's might. As I look to the east, I do not see the sun. I see Logan's bright, glistening forehead giving off the ray of life. Is that my Marvel power? Forehead ray? And so I'm reminded that it is not this day. This day is good. Good day to everyone. Everybody, we'll see you guys. The new Trilby shirts are in. I think I quite enjoy this one. We've actually contacted that guy. If you're watching, sorry, man. That we think you're cool. I mean, we're using this in love. We're not in love with you, but we're using this in a spirit of happiness and felicity and love. We're not trying to like poke fun. We're like,
it's an homage.
It's an homage, dude. We love it. So, and we love Jerry. Yeah, Jerry. Thanks a lot, man, for the image. He's a public figure. You're allowed to put him on a shirt, right?
Yeah.
We did it, and you guys can get it. And I was a poet and wasn't aware of the fact. Stay tuned for new stuff. Thanks to our Patreon supporters. Without you guys, we're probably still going to go out of business. But thanks anyway. No, we'll maybe.